Thank you for taking time from your busy day to allow me to introduce the new edition of our textbook entitled Psychological Disorders, Science, Self, and Society, which was just published by Pearson Education. Earlier users of our text will notice a change in title that reflects changes in the field, intended to destigmatize terminology used in the course. We focus on understanding psychological disorders rather than labeling people as normal or abnormal. The changes are deeper than just changes in wording. In developing this new edition, I kept thinking about the word intersection and how the study of psychological disorders represents an intersection of science, self, and society. I believe that as instructors we also need to put a human face on the study of psychological disorders rather than just present a compendium of diagnoses, causes, and treatments. Our text reflects this human dimension by including many illustrative case examples and using our unique I feature in which we share experiences of people with various psychological disorders telling their own stories in their own words. We also ground our study of psychological disorders in scientific research that informs our understanding of underlying causes and treatments, and we approach this understanding using a broader socio-cultural model. This is a mainstream, thoroughly up-to-date, and comprehensive text that takes an interactionist approach. Our I feature brings the student directly into the world of people experiencing various psychological disorders. I'm particularly excited about the Revel version of the text, which starts each chapter with an animation based on an actual case experience that brings these stories to life in a way that engages student interest and makes complex material more accessible. I encourage you to click on a few of these animations to see what I mean. I think your students are going to love this digital feature. Speaking of digital, another distinguishing feature of the text is a boxed feature we call Psychological Disorders in the Digital Age. Here, we integrate the latest research on the psychological effects of personal technology on our lives today. We examine topics such as internet addiction, tracking symptoms by smartphone, virtual reality therapy, e-therapy, apps for autism and many other disorders, and we touch upon important questions of concern today, such as whether social media use is making us sadder. This material resonates with the lives of the digital natives we teach in our classes every day. Let me briefly highlight a few other key features of the text. We emphasize visual learning tools, such as flowcharts and diagrams to help students visualize underlying processes. We include many case examples drawn from our own case experiences and those of leading practitioners, as well as video case vignettes that expands our focus on putting a human face on the study of psychological disorders. We also emphasize critical thinking skills, such as through the use of our at-issue boxed features that highlight current controversies in the field and which provide a set of critical thinking questions that instructors can use as brief writing assignments either for course credit or extra credit. We also incorporate our trademark truth or fiction chapter openers. These intriguing questions whet the students' appetite for material they will be reading about in the chapter and encourages them to read further to find the answers. We also emphasize the latest findings from neuroscience research, and we invite students to examine their own behaviors and attitudes by completing carefully selected self-scoring questionnaires. We also include many see-at-a-glance overview charts that present capsulized summaries of the disorders students are studying. Finally, the Tying It Together feature emphasizes our interactionist approach in understanding the interactions among the many factors that help explain the development of these complex problems. Thank you again for your time, and I hope that your semester is going well.